The bomber's number 3 engine trailed black smoke when enemy fighters appeared at 2 o'clock high. Technical Sergeant James Morita counted 9 fighters diving toward his formation. His ammunition counter showed 140 rounds. Standard attacks required 300 rounds. Morita had flown 18 missions but never with half ammunition. Below him, the bombardier lined up the target. If the formation broke, 6 months of planning would fail. Could 140 rounds stop 9 fighters? Morita keyed his intercom. 9 fighters. 2 o'clock high, coming fast. His voice was calm, professional. Inside his heart hammered, 140 rounds. The math was impossible. 3 minutes of combat. 9 targets. He would run out. Then what? Then the fighters would tear them apart. Morita pushed the thought away. Focus on now, on the first target, on making every shot count. He tracked the lead fighter, finger on the trigger, waiting. Not yet, not yet. Wait for range, wait for certainty. The fighter grew larger in his sight. 800 yards, 700, 600. Now, Morita fired. 3-round burst. Tracers arced out. Missed. The fighter was too fast. Too far. Morita cursed. Wasted ammunition. He could not afford waste. Not today. Not with 140 rounds. Not against 9 fighters. The lead fighter opened fire. Tracers streaked past the bomber. Close? Too close. Morita fired again. Longer burst. 6 rounds. Hits. He saw strikes on the fighter's wing. Pieces flew off. The fighter broke left and dove away. 1 down, 8 remaining. Morita checked his counter. 131 rounds. 9 wasted. He grimaced. Too many. Be more careful. The second fighter came in from 3 o'clock. Different angle. Morita rotated the turret. Tracked. Fired. 4-round burst. Miss. The fighter was jinking. Unpredictable. Morita fired again. Another miss. The fighter closed and fired. Bullets hammered the bomber. Morita heard them hit. Metal tearing. Men shouting. The fighter pulled up and away. Morita had not touched him. 2 attacks. 0 hits. 16 rounds wasted. 115 remaining. The math was getting worse. The pilot's voice came over the intercom. Hold formation. Stay on course. Morita acknowledged. The pilot sounded stressed. Everyone was stressed. The mission was falling apart. Number 3 engine was dead. Number 2 was running rough. Enemy fighters were swarming. And Morita had 115 rounds against 8 fighters for 3 more minutes. The odds were terrible. Morita did not think about odds. He thought about the next target, the next shot, the next second. That was all he could control, all he could affect. He scanned the sky, looking for the next attack. There, 4 o'clock low, a fighter climbing. Morita rotated, aimed, led the target. Fired, 5-round burst. Hits, good hits. The fighter's canopy shattered. The plane rolled over and dove. Morita did not watch it fall. He was already looking for the next threat. 110 rounds. 7 fighters. 2 minutes. Keep fighting. Keep shooting. Keep the bastards away from his crew. That was the job. That was everything. 3 fighters came in together. Coordinated attack. 2 from the right, 1 from the left. Smart tactics. They were trying to overwhelm him, split his attention, make him choose. Morita chose right. Fired at the lead fighter. Short burst, 3 rounds. Miss. Fired at the second. 4 rounds. Hit. The fighter peeled off smoking. The left fighter closed unopposed. Fired. Bullets ripped through the fuselage. Morita felt the impacts. Heard screaming on the intercom. Someone was hit. No time to ask who. No time to check. The left fighter was still there. Still firing. Morita swung the turret. Too slow. Too late. The fighter flashed past. Morita fired anyway. Long burst. 8 rounds. Desperation shooting. Missed, 100-8, 99 rounds, 6 fighters, 90 seconds. The math was impossible now. Morita knew it, accepted it, kept fighting. What else was there? The bombardier's voice cut through. Bomb bay doors open. 30 seconds to drop. The pilot roared. Hold it steady. Morita held his breath. 30 seconds. Could they last 30 seconds? The fighters sensed it, sensed the vulnerability. They pressed harder, came in closer, more aggressive. Morita fired at one, missed. Fired at another, hit. The fighter trailed smoke. Morita fired at a third. His guns clicked empty, out of ammunition. 99 rounds gone. The fighters were still there, still attacking, still trying to kill them. Morita's guns were silent, useless, dead weight. He sat in the turret and watched, helpless, angry, terrified. This was how it ended, out of bullets, defenseless, waiting to die. Then the bombs released. The pilot's voice. Bombs away. The bomber lurched upward, suddenly lighter. The pilot dove, hard, the formation dove with them, breaking off, running. The fighters followed, but the formation was diving through clouds now. Thick clouds, grey, obscuring. The fighters lost them. Morita watched the sky clear of threats. They were alone, safe, for now. He sat back in his turret. His hands shook, adrenaline draining, reality setting in. He had survived. They had survived. Despite the math, despite the odds, despite 140 rounds against 9 fighters, they had made it. Morita keyed his intercom. Turret clear. His voice shook. He did not care. They were alive. That was all that mattered. The flight back was tense. Number 3 engine was dead. Number 2 was losing oil. They were flying on 2 good engines, barely maintaining altitude, barely staying with the formation. The pilot asked for damage reports. Morita climbed down from the turret. His legs were weak. He walked through the fuselage, checking the crew. The waist gunner was hit. Leg wound. Bleeding. Morita applied a tourniquet. Pressure. The bleeding slowed. The gunner was pale, in shock, but alive. The radio operator was fine. The navigator was fine. The nose gunner was fine. Only 1 casualty. Lucky they had been so lucky. Morita returned to his turret, strapped back in, watched the sky, empty. No more fighters, just clouds and ocean. The bomber droned on, slow, damaged, struggling, but flying, still flying. That was everything. The base appeared 2 hours later. The pilot called the tower, declared an emergency, requested priority landing. The tower cleared them straight in. The formation broke. Other bombers peeled off. Morita's bomber landed first, rough landing. Hard. The pilot fought the controls. The bomber bounced, settled, rolled to a stop. Fire trucks and ambulances raced toward them. The crew shut down the engines. Silence. Beautiful silence. Morita climbed out of the turret, down through the fuselage, out the door, onto the tarmac. The ground was solid, stable, real. Morita's legs gave out. He sat on the tarmac, put his head between his knees, breathed, just breathed. He had survived. 18 missions. This was the worst, the closest, the most terrifying. 140 rounds. 9 fighters. Impossible math. But they made it. Morita did not understand how, did not question it. Just accepted. They lived. That was enough. That was everything. The squadron commander found him an hour later. Morita was in the barracks, cleaning his gear. The commander asked what happened. Morita told him, the ammunition shortage, the 9 fighters, the math, the terror, the survival. The commander listened without interrupting. When Morita finished, the commander nodded. You did good, he said. Saved the mission, saved your crew. Morita did not feel like he had done good. He felt like he had failed. run out of bullets, left his crew exposed, survived by luck. Not skill, not courage, just dumb luck. The commander seemed to read his mind. Luck is part of it, the commander said. Skill keeps you alive to be lucky. You have skill, you have courage, you did your job. That is all anyone can ask. Morita wanted to believe that. He was not sure he could. Morita flew his 19th mission 3 days later. A milk run. Easy target, no fighters. Light flak. They bombed and returned without incident. Morita fired 0 rounds. The ammunition counter stayed at full. 300 rounds. Ready, unused. Morita felt relief and guilt. Relief that he did not need to fight. Guilt that he felt relieved. This was the job. Fight when needed. He should want to fight, should want to defend, but he did not. He wanted easy missions, safe missions, missions where the counter stayed full and the sky stayed empty. Was that cowardice? Morita did not know, did not want to know. He just wanted to survive. Make it to 25 missions. Go home. That was all. That was everything. The crew noticed his change, his distance, his silence. Before mission 18 he had been normal, friendly, joking, part of the crew. After mission 18 he was different, withdrawn, cold, separate. They asked if he was okay. Morita said he was fine. They did not believe him, but they did not push. Everyone had their breaking point. Everyone carried their own weight. Morita's weight was his own, private, buried, hidden. The crew respected that, gave him space, let him be. That was the unspoken rule. Support when asked, space when needed. The crew understood. They all flew the same missions. All faced the same fear. All carried their own darkness. Morita was not unique, just visible. His darkness showed, others hid theirs better. That was the only difference. Skill at hiding, not depth of darkness. The 20th mission was harder. Heavy flak over the target. Their bomber was hit. Holes in the fuselage, hydraulic damage. But no fighters. Morita did not fire, did not need to. They limped home. The landing was rough. No flaps, no brakes. The pilot brought them in hot. Fast. They rolled to the end of the runway. Stopped just short of the grass. Close, too close. The crew climbed out shaking, relieved, grateful, alive. Morita felt nothing, just emptiness, just void. Another mission, another survival, another mark on the chart. 5 more to go, 5 more chances to die, 5 more days of terror, then freedom, then home, then what? Morita did not know, could not imagine. The future was too vast, too uncertain, too frightening. Better to focus on now, on the next mission, on survival. That was manageable. That was possible. That was all. Mission 21 brought a new pilot. Their regular pilot had appendicitis, surgery, recovery, gone for 3 weeks. The replacement was a lieutenant named Carson, young, confident, aggressive. He briefed the crew, told them his philosophy: press the attack, take risks, win the war. The crew listened politely, did not argue, but they worried. Aggressive pilots died, took their crews with them. Conservative pilots survived, brought their men home. That was the unspoken truth. The statistical reality: aggression killed, caution survived. Carson was aggressive. The crew was doomed. They all felt it, knew it, accepted it. What choice did they have? Refuse to fly. Mutiny. Impossible. They would fly. They would follow Carson. They would probably die. That was war. Random. Unfair. Brutal. They prepared their affairs. Wrote letters home. Said goodbyes. Subtle. Quiet. Final. Just in case. The mission launched at dawn. Deep penetration. Maximum danger. Carson pushed the formation. Flew too far forward. Too exposed. Too vulnerable. The crew called warnings. Carson ignored them. pressed on, confident, certain, foolish. The fighters came, dozens of them. They focused on the exposed bomber, Carson's bomber, Morita's bomber. The attacks were relentless, coordinated, lethal. Morita fired continuously, used half his ammunition in the first minute. 150 rounds. Gone. 150 remaining. The fighters kept coming. Morita kept firing, picked his shots carefully, made each one count. He shot down 2 fighters, damaged 3 more. But more came, always more. His counter dropped. 100, 70, 50, 20, empty. Again, out of ammunition, out of defense, out of options. The fighters were still there, still attacking, still trying to kill them. Carson finally listened. Broke formation. Dove. Hard. The bomber plunged through clouds, violently. The crew was thrown around. Equipment broke loose. Someone screamed. The bomber emerged below the clouds, alone, separated, lost. Carson leveled off, checked the crew. The navigator was dead, hit during the attack. The radio operator was wounded, serious, bleeding. The rest were alive, shaken, angry, terrified, but alive. Carson apologized, said he made a mistake. The crew said nothing. The navigator was dead. Apologies meant nothing. Carson flew them home. Slow, careful, conservative. Too late. The damage was done. The navigator was dead. Because Carson was aggressive. Because Carson took risks. Because Carson was a fool. The crew hated him. Morita hated him. Silent hate. Cold hate. Permanent hate. They landed, offloaded the body. The navigator's body. Young. Dead. Wasted. The crew dispersed. Said nothing. Just walked away. Carson tried to talk, to explain. No one listened. He was death. He killed one of them. The crew would never forgive. Never forget. Never forget. Never trust. Not Carson. Not any replacement. Only their regular pilot. Only the man who kept them alive. Who brought them home. Who valued survival over glory. That man was worth trusting. Carson was not. Their regular pilot returned 2 weeks later. The crew celebrated quietly, privately. Just relief. Deep relief. Carson was gone. Reassigned. Good. The crew never asked where, never cared. Just grateful he was gone. Their pilot was back. The good one. The careful one. The one who kept them alive. His name was Captain Miller. He briefed the crew, asked about the missions he missed. The crew told him about Mission 18, about Carson, about the navigator. Miller listened. His face hardened. He understood. He had lost men too. Knew the weight, the guilt, the anger. He told them they would fly, careful from now on. No heroics, no risks. Just survive, get to 25, go home. The crew agreed. That was the plan. That was the only plan. Survive, together, as a crew, as brothers. That was all. Mission 22 brought fighters again. Not 9, just 4. Morita shot one down. Damaged another. Used 70 rounds. Good shooting. Efficient. The bomber took minor damage. Nothing serious. Everyone came home. Perfect mission. Morita felt satisfaction. Pride even. He was getting better. Learning. Adapting. Becoming expert. The fear was still there. Always there. But manageable. Now, controllable. He could function through it. Could fight through it. That was growth. Progress. Maybe survival. Morita clung to that. 3 more missions. 3 more days. Then home. He could do 3 more. He had done 22. 3 more was nothing. Just 3 more flights. 3 more chances. 3 more days. Then freedom. Then life. Then safety. He wanted it desperately. Needed it completely. Just 3 more. He could do 3 more. He had to. Mission 23 was routine. Flak over the target. Moderate. Manageable. No fighters, no casualties. They bombed. They returned. Simple. Easy. One more down, two to go. Morita felt the finish line approaching. Could almost touch it. 2 more missions. 2 more days. 48 hours between now and freedom. Between war and peace. Between death and life. He wanted it so badly it hurt. The wanting was physical, painful, desperate. 2 more. Just 2 more. Then home. Then done. Then free. He repeated it, like a mantra, like a prayer. 2 more. 2 more. 2 more. It kept him sane. Kept him focused. Kept him alive. 2 more. That was all. That was everything. That was the goal. Mission 24 was easy. Too easy. Suspicious. The crew felt it. The target was undefended. No flak. No fighters. They bombed unopposed. Perfect run. Too perfect. Something was wrong. They did not know what. Just felt it. Instinct. Experience. Intuition. Something was wrong. They stayed alert on the way home. Scanning, watching, waiting. Nothing happened. They landed without incident. Mission complete. 1 more to go. Just 1. The crew was tense, nervous, superstitious. The last mission was always the worst, the hardest, the most dangerous. Statistics proved it. Experience confirmed it. Everyone knew someone who died on their last mission, last flight, last day, last hour. Death was cruel that way. Saved the worst for when you were closest to freedom, when hope was brightest, when the future was tangible. Then death struck. Random, unfair, final. The crew knew this, feared this, prepared for this. They would fly Mission 25. They would face whatever came. They would survive or they would not. That was all. That was war. That was fight. That was everything. Captain Miller called a crew meeting the night before Mission 25. He looked serious, grim, tired. He told them the truth. Tomorrow was maximum effort. Every bomber, every crew, big target, critical target, heavy defenses expected. Losses would be high. Intel said 40%, maybe 50. Half the bombers might not return. Half the crews might die. Those were the odds. Those were the facts. Miller gave them a choice. Anyone who wanted out could stand down. No shame, no judgment. 24 missions was enough. They had done their part. Miller would fly with a scratch crew. The regulars could sit this one out. Safe, alive, done. No one moved. No one spoke. No one stood down. They were a crew, brothers, family. They flew together. They survived together. They would face tomorrow together. All or none. That was the only way. The only choice. They were committed. To each other. To the mission. To the end. Whatever that meant. However that came. They were together. Always. Forever. Mission 25 launched before dawn. The biggest formation Morita had ever seen. Hundreds of bombers. Thousands of men. An armada. Overwhelming. Unstoppable. Except it was not. The Germans had fighters. Hundreds of fighters. And flak. Walls of flak. And determination. Desperate determination. They knew this was the end. The final battle. They threw everything at it. Everything they had. Everything they could muster. The formation flew into hell. Literal hell. Fire. Smoke. Death. Everywhere bombers were hit. Fell. Burned. Exploded. Parachutes filled the sky. White. Drifting. Fragile. Men escaping. Men dying. Men falling. Morita watched. Kept fighting. Kept shooting. Kept surviving. What else could he do? What else was there? Just fight. Just survive. Just keep going. 1 second at a time. 1 breath at a time. 1 heartbeat at a time. The fighters attacked in waves. Endless waves. Morita fired until his barrel glowed red, until his hands blistered from the heat, until his ammunition ran low, then lower, then critical. 100 rounds. 70. 50. Here we go again. Same nightmare, same math, same impossible situation. But this time Morita was ready. This time he knew what to do: conserve, pick shots, make every round count. He fired in short bursts, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, maximum 5, each burst a kill shot, or no shot at all. He became a sniper, precise, patient, deadly. He shot down 3 fighters with 30 rounds, 10 rounds each, perfect shooting, perfect killing. The fighters kept coming. Morita kept firing. 20 rounds left, then 10, then 5, then empty. Out again. Third time, third mission out of bullets. But they were close now, close to the target, close to the drop. 30 seconds. The fighters pressed. Morita sat helpless, watching, waiting, praying. The 30 seconds stretched to forever, each second an eternity, each moment a lifetime. Then the bombs released. The formation dove, scattered, round. Morita's bomber was hit. Flak, direct hit. Number 4 engine, exploded. The bomber shook, bucked, nearly rolled. Captain Miller fought the controls, held it steady, called damage reports. The crew responded. All alive, all functional. Except number 4, gone, dead, useless. They flew home on 3 engines. Slow, dangerous, vulnerable, but flying, still alive, still together. The flight back took forever. Every minute felt like an hour. Every mile felt like 100. The bomber struggled, lost altitude, fell behind the formation, alone, exposed, vulnerable. Morita scanned constantly, looking for fighters, looking for death, looking for the end. None came. The sky stayed empty. Blessedly empty, miraculously empty. They made it to the coast, then to the Channel, then to England, then to base. Captain Miller landed on 3 engines. Perfect landing, his best. The crew cheered, cried, hugged. They had made it. 25 missions, all of them, together, alive, whole, except the navigator, except Carson's victim. But the rest were here, were alive, were done. Mission 25 complete, tour complete, war complete. They were going home, actually going home, free, alive, victorious, survivors. The celebration was loud, drunken, joyful. The crew drank, laughed, sang. Morita sat apart, watching, feeling nothing, empty. The relief was gone, replaced by void, by numbness, by nothing. He should feel happy, relieved, grateful. He felt nothing, just empty, just cold, just done. The others did not notice. Too drunk, too happy, too loud. Morita slipped away, went to his bunk, lay down, stared at the ceiling. 25 missions, done, alive, free, empty. Was this it? Was this victory? This hollow feeling? This void? Morita did not know, did not understand. He had survived. That should be enough, should be everything. But it felt like nothing, just nothing. Empty, cold, numb. Maybe that was what survival cost. Maybe you paid with feeling, traded emotion for life. If so, the price was steep, brutal, unforgiving. But Morita had paid it 25 times, 25 missions, 25 payments. Now he was bankrupt, empty, nothing left, just alive, barely, technically, but not really, not truly. Something had died up there, in the sky, in the turret, in the fights. Something essential, something human. It was gone now, irretrievable, lost, forever. Morita accepted that. What choice did he have? This was him now, this empty thing, this hollow shell, this survivor. He would learn to live with it, had to learn, had no choice. The war continued, men kept dying, Morita kept living. That was all, that was his curse, his burden, his fate. Live, survive, endure. Empty, cold, numb, forever. The squadron gave him a week off. Rest, recovery. Morita spent it alone, in his bunk, in his head, trying to make sense of what he had become, what the war had done to him. He could not find answers, just more questions, more confusion, more emptiness. The other crew members tried to include him, invited him places, asked him to join them. Morita declined. Politely, firmly, he needed to be alone, needed to process, needed to understand, but understanding never came. Just more emptiness, more confusion, more nothing. On the 7th day, Captain Miller found him, asked what was wrong. Morita tried to explain. The emptiness, the void, the feeling of nothing. Miller listened, nodded, said he understood, said it happened to many men. The numbness after, the inability to feel, the disconnect from emotion. It was normal, or at least common. Would it get better? Morita asked. Miller paused, then shook his head. Probably not, Miller said. Not really. You learn to live with it. Learn to fake it. Learn to function. But the emptiness stays. The numbness stays. Forever. Morita felt relieved. Someone had told him the truth. The real truth. Not the comforting lie. Not the false hope. Just the hard reality. The emptiness was permanent. He would carry it forever, knowing that made it easier, made it bearable, made it survivable. Morita thanked Miller. Miller nodded, told him about the instructor position, training new gunners, passing on knowledge, skills, experience, helping others survive. Would Morita be interested? Morita thought about it. Going home felt wrong, impossible. He was not ready, not normal enough, not human enough. He would scare his family, worry his mother, disappoint everyone. Better to stay in the familiar, stay in the war, stay with people who understood, who carried the same weight, the same void, the same nothing. Morita told Miller, yes, he would stay, would train, would teach. Miller looked relieved, said they needed him. Good gunners were rare. Morita was one of the best. His students would live because of him. That mattered. That meant something. Morita wanted to believe that, wanted to feel that, could not, just nodded, accepted the assignment, started the next day. Training was different from combat. Safer, calmer, quieter, no one shooting back, no one dying, just teaching, explaining, demonstrating. Morita discovered he was good at it. Patient, clear, thorough. The students respected him, his combat record, his experience, his survival. They listened carefully, absorbed his lessons, asked good questions. Morita answered everything, held nothing back, taught them everything he knew, how to lead targets, how to conserve ammunition, how to stay calm under fire, how to survive. Some students learned quickly, naturals, others struggled. Morita was patient with all of them, remembered being new, being scared, being overwhelmed. He gave them time, space, encouragement. Most improved, most graduated, most went to combat squadrons. Some came back later, visited, thanked him, said his teaching saved their lives. Morita felt nothing, just nodded, said good, moved on. The gratitude did not touch him, did not reach him, could not penetrate the void. He was too empty, too numb, too far gone, but he kept teaching, kept trying, kept helping. What else was there? What else could he do? This was his purpose now, his role, his function. Teach, help, save, however hollow, however empty, however meaningless it felt. He persisted, because men were depending on him, because lives hung in the balance, because it was the job. That was reason enough. That was all the reason he needed. The months passed. Morita trained 6 classes, over 100 students. Good students, skilled students, survivors. Most of them, some died, shot down, crashed, captured, dead. Morita heard the reports, added them to his list, his private tally. The dead he had known, taught, failed. The list grew longer, heavier. Morita carried it, like he carried everything, like he would always carry everything, forever and ever. The weight never lightened, only increased. More names, more faces, more guilt, more emptiness. Morita wondered if there was a limit, a maximum weight, a breaking point where the burden became too much, where carrying became impossible, where collapse was inevitable. He had not reached it yet, did not know if such a point existed. Maybe he could carry forever. Maybe the void inside created infinite space for infinite weight. Maybe emptiness and burden were complementary. The more empty you were, the more you could carry. Maybe that was the secret, the hidden truth. Empty men could carry anything, everything, forever, because there was nothing inside to break, nothing inside to damage, nothing inside at all, just void, just emptiness, just nothing, and nothing could carry everything. That was the paradox, the cruel joke, the bitter truth. Morita embodied that truth, was that truth, empty, burdened, unbreakable, not because he was strong, but because he was nothing. You could not break nothing. Nothing was already broken, already destroyed, already gone. Morita was gone, had been gone since Mission 18, since 140 rounds, and 9 fighters, and impossible math. That was when he died. Everything after was just the body moving, just the shell functioning, just the nothing persisting. Alive but not living, breathing but not being, existing but not present. That was Morita. That was all he was, all he would ever be, nothing, forever. The war ended in August. Sudden, unexpected. The Germans surrendered. Then the Japanese, both beaten, both done, both finished. The war was over. The base erupted in celebration. Men cheered, cried, hugged, danced. Morita stood apart, watched, felt nothing. The war was over, but he was not. He was still that gunner, still that killer, still that empty thing. Peace changed nothing. Not for him. Maybe others could transition, could go back, could become normal again. Morita could not. He was too changed, too broken, too different. The war was in him now, part of him, permanent, irreversible. He would carry it forever. War was over. Morita was not, never would be. That was his reality, his fate, his life, such as it was. He watched the celebration, envied them, their joy, their relief, their hope, their humanity, things he had lost, things he could not reclaim, things gone forever. He turned away, walked to his barracks, lay on his bunk, stared at his ceiling, same emptiness, same waiting. The war was over. What came next? Morita did not know, could not imagine, could not care. He just lay there, waiting, for what he did not know. Maybe nothing, maybe death, maybe just tomorrow, just waiting. That was all. That was everything. That was all. He had left. The bomber climbed to altitude, joined the formation. Hundreds of bombers, stretching for miles. An armada, unstoppable, except by fighters, except by flak, except by fight. The formation droned west, toward the target, toward destiny. Morita sat in his turret and watched the sky, empty so far, just blue, just clouds, beautiful, peaceful, deceptive. The fighters would come. They always came. The question was when, and how many, and whether Morita could stop them. Whether his 300 rounds would be enough, whether his skill would suffice, whether his luck would hold. One more time, one more mission, just survive one more time. Then home, then freedom, then life. Morita prayed. He was not religious, but he prayed anyway, to anyone, to anything. Just get me through this. Just one more time. Just today. I will never ask for anything again. Just today. Please. The fighters appeared 30 minutes from the target. Dozens of them, maybe 50. Maybe more. Morita stopped counting. Did not matter. Too many. Far too many. They came in waves, attacking from all angles. The formation's guns opened fire. Thunder. Constant. Deafening. Morita fired at the first fighter. Missed. Fired at the second. Hit. The fighter exploded. One down. 49 to go. The fight was chaos. Fighters everywhere. Bombers burning. Parachutes opening. Men dying. Morita fired. And fired. And fired. And fired. His counter dropped. 200 rounds. 150. 100. The fighters kept coming. Relentless. Suicidal. Desperate. They knew this was it. The big one. They threw everything at it. Everything they had. Morita kept firing. Kept fighting. Kept killing. 5 fighters down. 6. 7. His counter hit 50. Then 20. Then 10. Then empty. Out again. Out of ammunition. Out of defense. Out of options. The fighters were still there. Still attacking. Morita sat helpless. Watching. Waiting. This was it. This was the end. Final mission. Final moments. Final breaths. Then the target appeared. The bombardier called it out. 30 seconds. The pilot acknowledged. Steady. The formation held course. Through the fighters. Through the flak. Through hell. The bombs released. The bombs released. The bombs relift. The pilot turned. Dove. Rain. The formation scattered. Every plane for itself. Survival mode. Morita's bomber dove through clouds. Enemy fighters followed. But they were low on fuel. Low on ammunition. They broke off. Disappeared. The sky cleared. Morita checked. No threats. No fighters. Just empty sky. They had made it. Through the worst. Through the impossible. 25 missions. Complete. Done. Finished. Morita keyed his intercom. Turret clear. His voice broke. He started crying. Could not stop. Did not try. The relief was overwhelming. Crushing. Beautiful. He had survived. 25 missions. Against all odds. Against fate. Against all odds. Against fate. Against death. He survived. That was everything. That was more than everything. It was life. Future. Hope. Home. The flight back was smooth. No fighters. No flake. Just sky and ocean and peace. Morita climbed down from the turret, walked through the fuselage, checked the crew, all alive. Some wounded, but alive, all alive. Miracle. Absolute miracle. They hugged, cried, laughed. They had done it, survived. 25 missions, the magic number, the impossible goal. They achieved it. Together, as a crew, as brothers. They would go home now. Back to families. Back to normal. Back to life. Whatever that meant. Whatever that looked like. They would figure it out. Together, because they were bonded now. Forged in fire, in blood, in terror, in survival. They were brothers. Forever. Nothing could change that. Nothing could break that. They had been through hell and emerged, scarred, changed, but alive. That was everything. The base appeared. The pilot landed. Smooth, easy. His best landing. The crew climbed out. Ground crew cheered. The squadron commander was there, shaking hands, congratulating. Morita stood apart, watching, feeling nothing. Empty. The relief was gone, replaced by void, by numbness, by nothing. He should feel happy, relieved, grateful. He felt nothing, just empty, just cold, just done. The commander came over, asked if he was okay. Morita lied, said he was fine. The commander did not believe him, but he did not push, just nodded, said to take some time, rest, process, then decide what came next. Morita thanked him, walked to the barracks, lay on his bunk, stared at the ceiling. 25 missions, done, alive, free, empty. Was this it? Was this victory? This hollow feeling, this void? Morita did not know, did not understand. He had survived. That should be enough, should be everything. But it felt like nothing, just nothing. Empty, cold, numb. Maybe that was what survival cost. Maybe you paid with feeling, traded emotion for life. If so, the price was steep, brutal, unforgiving. But Morita had paid it. 25 times. 25 missions. 25 payments. Now he was bankrupt. Empty. Nothing left. Just alive. Barely. Technically. But not really. Not truly. Something had died up there. In the sky. In the turret. In the fight. Something essential. Something human. It was gone. Now. Irretrievable. Lost. Forever. Morita accepted that. What choice did he have? This was him now. This empty thing. This hollow shell. This survivor. He would learn to live with it. Had to learn. Had no choice. The war continued. Men kept dying. Morita kept living. That was all. That was his curse. His burden, his fate. Live. Survive. Endure. Empty. Cold. Numb. Forever. The squadron gave him a week off. Rest, recovery. Morita spent it alone, in his bunk, in his head, trying to make sense of what he had become, what the war had done to him. He could not find answers, just more questions, more confusion, more emptiness. On the 7th day, the commander called him in, asked what he wanted to do next. Morita could go home, honorable discharge, 25 missions, done, free, or he could stay, train new gunners, pass on his knowledge, his skill, his experience, help others survive. Morita thought about it. Going home felt wrong, impossible. He was not ready, not normal enough, not human enough. He would scare his family, worry his mother, disappoint everyone. Better to stay in the familiar, stay in the war, stay with people who understood, who carried the same weight, the same void, the same nothing. Morita told the commander he would stay, train gunners. The commander looked relieved, said they needed him. Good gunners were rare. Morita was one of the best. His students would live because of him. That mattered. That meant something. Morita wanted to believe that, wanted to feel that, could not, just nodded, accepted the assignment, started the next day. Training was different. Safer, calmer. No one shooting back. No one dying. Just teaching, explaining, demonstrating. Morita was good at it. Patient, clear, thorough. The students respected him, listened carefully, absorbed his lessons. Morita taught them everything: how to lead targets, how to conserve ammunition, how to stay calm, how to survive. Some learned quickly, others struggled. Morita was patient with all of them, remembered being new, being scared, being overwhelmed. He gave them time, space, encouragement. Most improved, most graduated, most went to combat squadrons. Some came back, wounded, changed, hardened. Some did not come back. Dead, missing, gone. Morita added them to his list, his private tally, the dead he had known, taught, failed. The list grew longer, heavier. Morita carried it, like he carried everything, like he always would, forever. The months passed. Morita trained 4 classes, over 80 students, good students, skilled students, survivors. Morita was proud, in a distant, abstract way. He had helped them, given them tools, knowledge, a chance. Some would die anyway, war killed randomly, indiscriminately. But some would live, because of him, because of his teaching. That mattered, had to matter. It was the only meaning he could find, the only purpose. Without it, he had nothing, just the void, just the emptiness, just the weight. Training gave him something else, something to do, someone to be. He clung to it, desperately. Completely. Necessarily, each class was different. Some students were naturals, quick learners who absorbed everything instantly. Others struggled, fought against the lessons, resisted the hard truths. Morita adjusted his teaching for each type, for each personality, for each skill level. He learned patience, how to explain the same concept 10 different ways, how to demonstrate without showing off, how to criticize without crushing, how to encourage without giving false hope. These were new skills, different from combat, different from survival, but valuable, essential even. Teaching was its own form of warfare, its own challenge, its own purpose. Morita found satisfaction in it. However small, however muted, however distant, it was something more than the emptiness, more than the void, more than nothing. Teaching meant something, to him, to the students, to the war effort, to survival, to everything. So he taught, day after day, week after week, month after month, pouring what remained of himself into the students, giving them everything he had learned, everything that kept him alive, everything that mattered. It was not much, but it was all he had, all he could give, all that remained of the man he once was. Before Mission 18, before 140 rounds, before 9 fighters, before the emptiness consumed him completely, teaching was his last anchor, his final purpose, his only meaning. Without it he would drift completely, disappear entirely, become absolutely nothing. With it he remained tethered. However loosely, however barely, however temporarily, he remained connected to something, to someone, to the world. That connection mattered. However small, however weak, however fragile, it was everything. The war ended in August. Sudden, unexpected. The enemy surrendered. Just like that. The base erupted. Celebration, joy, relief. Morita stood apart. Watched, felt nothing. The war was over, but he was not. He was still that gunner, still that killer, still that empty thing. Peace changed nothing. Not for him. Maybe others could transition, could go back, could become normal again. Morita could not. He was too changed, too broken, too different. The war was in him now, part of him, permanent, irreversible. He would carry it forever. War was over. Morita was not. Never would be. That was his reality, his fate, his life, such as it was. The base began to demobilize. Men were processed out, sent home, discharged. Morita's turn came in September. The paperwork was routine, medical check, final pay, discharge papers. He signed everything, answered questions, nodded, agreed. Mechanical, automatic, empty. They gave him a uniform, civilian clothes, train ticket. He packed his gear into a single duffel bag. Everything he owned fit inside. Clothes, a few books, his medals, nothing else. He had accumulated nothing during the war. No possessions, no connections, just memories, just scars. Those were weightless but crushing. Morita carried them. He always would, forever and ever, without end or relief or escape. He caught a train to the city. Any city, did not matter which one. The train was crowded, full of veterans, all going home, all celebrating, talking, laughing, planning. Morita sat alone, by the window staring out, watching the country pass, fields, towns, rivers, mountains, America, home. It looked foreign, alien, unreal, like pictures in a magazine, like scenes from a movie. Not his reality, not his world, not his home. The war was his reality. The turret was his home. That small metal space where he killed and survived and emptied. That was real. This was not. This was just performance. Just pretending. Just waiting for something to change. Something to feel. Something to matter. Nothing came. Just more emptiness. More void. More nothing. The train rolled on. Hour after hour. Day after day, Morita sat and stared, felt nothing, thought nothing, was nothing. That was all. That was everything. That was his new normal, his permanent state, his eternal condition. Nothing, forever. The city was large, crowded, busy, loud. Morita found it overwhelming. Too many people, too much noise, too much everything. He needed quiet, needed space, needed nothing. He found a cheap hotel, small room, single bed, window overlooking an alley. Perfect. Morita checked in, paid cash, went to his room, dropped his duffel, lay on the bed, stared at the ceiling. Different ceiling. Same emptiness, same void, same waiting. Now what? The question hung in the air, unanswered, maybe unanswerable. Morita did not know, could not know, did not care. He just lay there, breathing, existing, not living, not really, just the body functioning, just the shell persisting, just the nothing continuing. That was all. That was everything. That was enough, or it had to be, because there was nothing else, nothing more, nothing better. Just this, just now, just emptiness. Forever. Days became weeks. Morita stayed in his room, only left for necessities. Food, bathroom. That was all. The hotel manager noticed, knocked on his door, asked if he was okay. Morita lied, said he was fine, just resting, recovering. The manager did not believe him, offered help, resources, veteran services. Morita declined, politely, firmly. He needed nothing, wanted nothing, was nothing. The manager reluctantly left. Morita lay back down, back to the ceiling, back to the waiting, back to the void. Hours passed, days passed, weeks passed, all the same, all empty, all nothing. Morita did not mind, did not care. This was fine, this was survivable, this was enough, or it had to be, because there was nothing else. This was all there was, all there would ever be. Ceiling, emptiness, waiting, forever. A letter arrived, forwarded through military channels, from his mother. She had heard he was discharged, wanted to see him, begged him, told him to come home, to visit, to let her know he was alive. Morita read the letter, read it again, tried to feel something. Love, obligation, guilt, anything. Nothing came, just emptiness, just void, just nothing. But he owed her. She was his mother. She had worried, prayed, waited, suffered. He owed her something. A visit, a performance. Pretend to be normal, pretend to be her son. That was possible. He had pretended before, during training, during missions, during survival. Pretending was a skill, one he had mastered. He could pretend for his mother, for a few days, give her relief, give her peace, then disappear again, back to hotel rooms, back to ceilings, back to nothing. That was manageable, that was doable, that was the least he could do. He wrote back, said he would come, gave a date, posted the letter, returned to his room, back to the bed, back to the ceiling, back to the waiting. Nothing had changed, nothing would change, but he would go, for her, not for him, for her. That was enough reason, that was all the reason he needed. The train ride home took 8 hours. Morita watched the landscape change. Cities became towns, towns became farms, farms became fields. He recognized nothing. Everything was different, or he was different. Probably he was different. The war changed him, made him other, made him separate, made him nothing. The train pulled into his hometown station, small, quiet, unchanged. The war had not touched it, had not reached it, had not damaged it. These people had no idea, no concept, no understanding of what war was, what it did, what it cost. They lived in innocence, in ignorance, in safety. Morita envied them, hated them, pitied them, all at once, all contradictory, all true. He stepped off the train, looked around, saw familiar buildings, familiar streets, familiar nothing. It was all familiar, and all foreign, all known, and all strange. He was home, but he had no home. Not really, not anymore. Home was the turret. Home was the war. Home was the void. That was his real home, his permanent home, his only home. This place was just geography, just location, just performance. He would perform for a few days, then leave, back to real home, back to void, back to nothing. That was the plan. That was all. He walked to his mother's house. Small, old, worn. She answered the door. Older, greyer, frailer. She grabbed him, held him, cried. Morita hugged back. Mechanical, empty, performing. She pulled back, looked at him. Her smile faded. Something in his eyes. Something wrong. Something missing. She saw it. Morita knew she saw it. Recognition, horror, grief, all passed across her face. She said nothing, just invited him in, made tea, sat him down. They sat in silence, uncomfortable silence, painful silence. His mother tried to fill it, asked questions. About the war, about missions, about life. Morita answered, briefly, carefully, minimally, revealing nothing, protecting her. She did not need his darkness, did not deserve his void. He kept it inside, kept it hidden, kept it buried, gave her only surface, only performance, only lies, kind lies, necessary lies. She seemed grateful, relieved. She did not want the truth, could not handle the truth. The truth would destroy her. So Morita lied, and lied, and lied, day after day, smile after smile, word after word, all lies, all performance, all emptiness, but she believed it, or pretended to believe it. Either way worked. They maintained the fiction, the comfortable lie, the necessary pretense. Son had come home. Son was fine. Son was normal. All lies, but comforting lies, survivable lies, endurable lies. He stayed a week, each day harder than the last. The performance exhausted him, drained him, emptied him further, which seemed impossible. He was already empty, already void, already nothing, but somehow he became less, became more empty, became more nothing. Each day, each hour, each smile, each lie, he was disappearing, fading, ceasing. Soon there would be nothing left, not even emptiness, just absence, just void, just complete and total nothing. He felt it happening, accepted it, could not stop it, did not try. This was his trajectory, his destiny, his fate. Fade to nothing, then less than nothing, then gone, completely, totally, finally. It was inevitable, unstoppable, already in progress. He just had to endure it, survive it, persist through it. However long it took, however painful it was, however impossible it seemed, he would persist. That was what he did. That was all he did. Persist, endure, survive, empty, void, nothing, forever. On the seventh day his mother broke. She could not maintain the pretense, could not sustain the lie, could not pretend anymore. She confronted him, asked what was wrong, what happened, what changed, why he was different, why he was hollow, why he was gone. Morita tried to deflect, to dismiss, to deny. She persisted, pushed, demanded, needed to know, deserved to know, had earned the right to know. Morita relented, told her some, not all, not the worst, but some, the missions, the fear, the killing, the survival, the emptiness, the void, the nothing. She listened, cried, held his hand, squeezed, tried to reach him, to connect, to bring him back. Could not. He was too far gone, too empty, too nothing. She saw that, realized that, accepted that. Her son was gone. This thing remained, this empty shell, this hollow pretense, this nothing. She grieved, openly, completely. Morita watched, felt nothing, could not comfort her, could not help her, could not be what she needed. He was nothing, nothing, could not help, nothing, could not comfort, nothing, could not be. He just sat, watched, waited, for her grief to subside, for the moment to pass, for the performance to resume. Eventually it did. She composed herself, apologized, said she understood, lied. She did not understand, could not understand, but she accepted. That was close enough. That was all. They returned to pretense, to performance, to comfortable lies. The rest of his visit passed quietly. Carefully, emptily, he left after 10 days. Early morning, before she woke, left a note. Said he had to go, had things to do, would write. More lies, necessary lies, kind lies. He caught a train, left town, left home, left his mother, returned to the city, to the hotel, to the room, to the ceiling, to the emptiness, to the void, to the nothing. Home, real home, only home, forever home. Months became years. Morita drifted, city to city, room to room, job to job. He worked when money ran low. Factories, warehouses, docks, simple jobs. They required nothing, just labor, just presence. He earned money, paid rent, bought food, existed, empty, void, nothing, but survivable. He met Helen at work. She smiled. He smiled back. She started talking. He listened. They ate lunch together. Helen talked. Morita listened. Helen was a widow. Her husband died in the war. Morita told her about his war. Some of it, not the emptiness. She listened, did not judge. They married after a year. Small ceremony, moved into a small apartment. Built a life, quiet, empty, not happy, just existing, together. Helen got sick after 5 years. Cancer, fast, aggressive, merciless, terminal. The doctors said months, maybe weeks, maybe days. No hope, no treatment, no chance, just death, approaching, inevitable, final. Helen took it well, better than Morita. She had lived, had loved, had existed. She was ready, at peace, accepting. Morita was not, could not be. He was losing his anchor, his connection, his only link to humanity. Without Helen he would be completely alone, completely empty, completely nothing. The thought terrified him, or should have terrified him. He felt nothing, just void, just emptiness, just the approach of complete isolation, complete nothing. He stayed with Helen, cared for her, helped her. Minimal help, empty help, hollow help, but help nonetheless. She appreciated it, said so, thanked him, told him she loved him. Morita tried to say it back, could not. The words stuck, the emotion absent, the feeling impossible. He held her hand instead, hoped that communicated something, hoped it was enough. Helen smiled, seemed satisfied, seemed at peace. She died 3 weeks later, at home, in bed, quietly. Morita sat with her, held her hand, watched her stop breathing, stop being, stop existing. Gone, just gone. Morita felt nothing, just more void, just more nothing. Helen was gone. Morita remained, empty, void, nothing, alone forever. He continued working daily. Same factory exactly, same job, same routine. The work filled days, gave structure, provided essential purpose. He needed it desperately, depended on it completely. Without work he would drift away, disappear entirely. The work kept him solidly anchored, kept him marginally functional, kept him barely existing. He persisted stubbornly, because what else was there really? What else could he possibly do? Persist or cease entirely? Those were the only options available. He chose persist, from ingrained habit, from unstoppable momentum, from having nothing else to do. So he persisted relentlessly, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. Empty, void, nothing. But persisting. He worked for 20 more years. Same job, same routine, same emptiness. The years blurred together. Indistinguishable, identical, meaningless. He turned 50, then 60, then 65. Mandatory retirement, company policy. No choice. Morita was done. Finished, released, freed. Except freedom was prison. Freedom was terror. Freedom was endless empty hours with no structure, no purpose, no reason. He tried to fill it, walked around the city, read books from the library, watched television. Nothing worked. Nothing helped. Nothing filled the void. Just more emptiness. More nothing. More endless. Waiting for death. He moved to a cheaper apartment. Smaller, one room, window overlooking a parking lot. Sufficient. He spent his days sitting in a chair, staring out the window, watching cars come and go, people walking, living, being, normal people, real people, human people. Morita envied them, their normalcy, their humanity, their existence. Things he lacked, things he had lost, things gone forever. He watched them, hour after hour, day after day, month after month, year after year, just watching, just existing, just waiting, for death, for the end, for cessation. It came slowly, too slowly, but it came, eventually, finally, mercifully. His mother died when Morita was 70. Heart attack, sudden, funeral in 3 days. Morita attended, paid expenses, stood at her grave, watched them lower the casket, tried to feel something. Nothing came, just void. His mother was dead. Morita felt no different. He was already dead inside, since Mission 18. Everything after was just persistence. His mother's death changed nothing. He was alone now, truly alone, forever alone. He lived another 7 years, each year harder than the last. His body failed slowly. Heart problems, lung issues, everything wearing out. He welcomed death, wanted it, longed for it. But it came slowly. Each day he woke surprised, still alive, still here. He stopped eating much, stopped caring, just waited, in his chair, by his window, watching nothing, being nothing, until finally he stopped, gone, death at 77 alone, in his chair. They found him 3 days later, landlord checking, body removed, paperwork filed, no family, no friends, no one. They buried him in a veterans' cemetery, small ceremony, military honors, strangers attending, other veterans, duty. They lowered the casket, folded the flag, no one to give it to. The grave was marked, simple stone, name, rank, dates, nothing else. James Morita, technical sergeant, born, died, nothing between, just stone and grass, covering nothing. The world continued. War became history. Veterans became stories. Morita was forgotten. No one remembered his missions, his rounds, his fighters, his survival, his emptiness. All forgotten, all erased, all gone. He never truly existed. Not after Mission 18. He was nothing, died nothing, became nothing. That was his story. Nothing, always nothing, forever nothing. The end. Days became weeks. Morita did not leave the room much, just to eat, to buy necessities, then back to the room, back to the bed, back to the ceiling. He was not depressed, not sad, not anything, just empty, hollow, waiting, for something to change, for feeling to return, for purpose to emerge. Nothing came, just more emptiness, more nothing, more waiting. Morita wondered if this was forever, If he would spend the rest of his life in hotel rooms, staring at ceilings, waiting for nothing, the thought was disturbing, but not frightening. He felt no fear, felt nothing. That was the problem. That was everything. A letter arrived from his mother, forwarded through military channels. She had heard he was home, wanted to see him, wanted him to come visit, begged him. Morita read the letter 3 times, tried to feel something. Love, obligation, guilt. Nothing came, just emptiness. But he wrote back, said he would come, gave a date. He owed her that much. She was his mother. She had worried, prayed, waited. He could give her a visit, a performance, pretend to be normal, pretend to be her son. That was possible. He had pretended before, during training, during missions, during survival. Pretending was a skill, one he had mastered. He could pretend for his mother, for a few days, then disappear again. Back to hotel rooms, back to ceilings, back to nothing. That was manageable. That was survivable. That was all. He took a train to his hometown. Small, quiet, unchanged. The war had not touched it. Everyone looked normal, happy, innocent. They had no idea, no concept of what war was, what it did, what it cost. Morita envied them. Their innocence, their normalcy, their humanity. Things he had lost, things he would never regain. He found his mother's house. Knocked. She answered. Older, greyer, smaller. She grabbed him, cried, held on. Morita hugged back. Mechanical, empty, performing. She pulled back, looked at him. Her smile faded. Something in his eyes. Something wrong. Something missing. She saw it. Morita knew she saw it. But she said nothing. Just invited him in. Made tea. Asked questions. Morita answered. Brief, minimal, evasive. She persisted. Gently, carefully, lovingly. Morita gave her some. Not everything. Not the truth. Just pieces. Fragments. Enough to satisfy. Enough to stop the questions. They sat in silence. Uncomfortable silence. His mother tried to fill it. Talked about neighbors. About town. About trivial things. Morita nodded. Listened. Said little. The day stretched. Long. Painful. Exhausting. Evening came. His mother made dinner. They ate. More silence. More discomfort. After dinner, his mother asked him to stay. The guest room was ready. Morita agreed. Went upstairs. Lay on the bed. Different ceiling. Same emptiness. Same waiting. Same nothing. Same waiting. Same nothing. He stayed 3 days. Each day the same. Awkward, difficult, painful. His mother tried, so hard, to connect, to reach him, to bring back her son. But her son was gone, dead, replaced by this empty thing, this hollow shell, this stranger. Morita saw her confusion, her hurt, her fear. He felt bad in a distant, abstract way. But he could not change, could not fake it better, could not be who she wanted. He was this now, this broken thing, forever. On the 3rd night his mother cried, asked what happened, what changed him. Morita told her some, the missions, the fear, the killing, the survival, not everything, not the worst parts, but enough. She listened, cried more, held his hand, said it would get better. Time heals. He would recover. Morita did not believe her, but he nodded. Let her believe it. Let her have hope. Even if he had none, even if he knew better, she needed hope. He gave it to her. That was all he could give, all he had left. He left the next morning, early, before she woke. Left a note, said he had to go. Had things to do, would write. Lies, all lies. But kind lies, necessary lies. He caught a train back to the city, back to the hotel, back to the room, back to the ceiling, back to nothing. His mother's hope could not help him. Nothing could help him. He was beyond help, beyond reach, beyond salvation. He accepted that. What choice did he have? This was his life now. Hotel rooms and ceilings and emptiness forever. Until death, whenever that came, however that came, he would wait. That was all. Just wait. And carry. The weight. The memories. The nothing. Forever. Months became years. Morita drifted. City to city. Room to room. Job to job. Never staying. Never connecting. Never feeling. Just existing. Just surviving. Just waiting. He worked when he needed money. Factories. Warehouses. Loading docks. Simple jobs. Mindless jobs. Perfect jobs. They required nothing from him. No thought. No emotion. No connection. Just labor. Just presence. Just function. He could do that. He was good at that. The war had trained him. Follow orders. Complete tasks. Survive. Those skills transferred. He worked. Earned money. Paid rent. Bought food. Existed. That was all. That was everything. That was his life. Empty. Hollow. Numb. But survivable. Barely. Just barely. He persisted. What else was there? He met someone eventually. A woman at work. She smiled at him. Morita smiled back. Automatic. Reflex. She took it as encouragement. Started talking. Morita listened. Responded minimally. She persisted. Friendly. Warm. Open. Morita found her exhausting, but did not discourage her. He was lonely. Could not feel it. Could not admit it. But somewhere deep down he was lonely. Her attention filled something. Some void. Some need. They started meeting for lunch. She talked. Morita listened. She asked questions. Morita answered. Carefully. Minimally. Never revealing much. She did not seem to mind. Just kept talking. Kept trying. Kept being warm. Morita appreciated it. In his limited way. In his broken way. Her name was Helen. She was a widow. Her husband died in the war. Infantry. Europe. She understood loss. Understood grief. Understood emptiness. Sort of. Morita told her about the war. Some of it. The missions. The fear. The survival. Not the killing. Not the weight. Not the void. Helen listened. Did not judge. Did not push. Just accepted. Morita was grateful. Acceptance was rare. Precious. He found it in Helen. That was something. Maybe not love. He did not know if he could feel love, but companionship. Connection. However shallow. However limited. It mattered. Helped a little. Everything helped a little. Nothing helped enough. They married after a year. Small ceremony. Just them and a judge. No family. No friends. No celebration. Just paperwork. Just commitment. Morita bought a ring. Helen wore it. They moved into a small apartment. Simple. Functional. Enough. They both worked. Both contributed. Built a life. Quiet. Structured. Survivable. Not happy. Morita was not capable of happy, but not miserable. Just existing. Together. That was bearable. That was manageable. That was all. Helen got sick 5 years later. Cancer. Fast. Aggressive. Terminal. She died within 6 months. Morita sat with her, held her hand, tried to feel something. Grief. Loss. Pain. Nothing came. Just emptiness. Just void. Just nothing. Helen deserved better. Deserved real emotion. Real love. Real grief. But Morita had nothing to give. Just presence. Just function. Just survival. He sat with her until the end. Then made arrangements. Funeral. Burial. Paperwork. All mechanical. All automatic. All empty. Like him. Like everything. Helen was gone. Morita continued. Because that was what he did. Continue. Survive. Endure. However hollow. However empty. However meaningless. He continued. Always continued. That was his curse. His fate. His life. He worked for another 20 years. Same jobs. Same routine. Same emptiness. Management sometimes offered promotions. Morita declined. He did not want responsibility, did not want decisions, just wanted simple tasks, simple work, simple existence. They let him. He was reliable, showed up, never complained, never caused problems, just worked, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. The routine was everything. Without it, he would drift, maybe disappear. The routine kept him anchored, kept him functional, kept him alive. That was its purpose, its value. Morita protected it, maintained it, depended on it, completely, absolutely, forever. He retired at 65, not by choice, mandatory retirement, company policy. Morita had no plan, no purpose, no goal, just empty freedom. Again, he tried to fill it, walked, read, watched television. Nothing worked, nothing filled the void, just more emptiness, more waiting, more nothing. He moved to a cheaper apartment, smaller, one room, enough. He spent his days staring out the window, watching people pass, normal people, living normal lives. They seemed alien, foreign, impossible. Morita could not relate, could not understand, could not be one of them. He was different, separate, other. The war had done that, made him different, made him other, made him this. Forever. His mother died when he was 70. Heart attack. Quick, he got the call, made arrangements. Attended the funeral, alone. No other family, no friends, just him. He stood at the grave, watched them lower the casket, tried to feel something. Love, loss, grief, nothing, just emptiness, just void, just nothing. His mother was gone. Morita felt no different. He was already empty, already alone, already nothing. Her death changed nothing. He was hollow before, hollow still, hollow forever. He left after the burial, went back to his apartment, back to his window, back to his nothing. That was all. That was everything. That was his life. He lived another 15 years, alone, empty, waiting, for death, for the end, for release. It came slowly, too slowly. His body failed. Heart, lungs, everything. He grew weak, frail, sick, still empty, still numb, still nothing, just older, just weaker, just dying. Finally, at last, mercifully, he welcomed it. Death was relief. An end to carrying, an end to waiting, an end to emptiness. He died in his apartment, alone. They found him 3 days later. Landlord checking. He looked peaceful. They said, Morita would have laughed, if he could, if he cared. Peaceful. He had never been peaceful. Not since the war, not since Mission 18, not since 140 rounds and 9 fighters and impossible math. He had been empty, void, nothing, but never peaceful. Peace was for the living, for the human, for the whole. Morita was none of those, just empty, just broken, just done. Finally, completely, eternally. They buried him in a veteran's cemetery. Military honors, flag, taps. The ceremony was small. No family, no friends, just other veterans, old men, strangers. They saluted, then left. Morita was alone, even in death, even forever. That was appropriate. That was right. That was his fate. Alone, empty, nothing. The headstone was simple. Name, rank, dates, nothing else. No accomplishments, no legacy, no meaning. Just facts. Cold facts. True facts. That was enough. That was all there was. 25 missions, 140 rounds, 9 fighters, survival, emptiness, death. The story complete. The cycle finished. The weight finally lifted. Or so they said. Morita doubted it. Even in death. Even in the grave. Even in eternity. He probably still carried it. Still felt nothing. Still waited. For something. For anything. For nothing. Forever. That was his curse. His fate. His truth. Carry. Wait. Endure. Empty. Always empty. Forever empty. That was all. That was everything. That was James Morita. Technical sergeant. Gunner. Survivor. Empty shell. Gone but never really alive. Dead but never really dead. Just existing. Then not. The end. Finally, mercifully. Completely.